To feel like you're in a movie. Especially a romance movie. Oh my goodness. I had an exciting 24 hours and I realized that I didn't spend a dime, which is really quite hard in New York City. So last week I was scrolling through Instagram and tapping away on my computer, and I just so happened to find these free events. So of course I put my name in, I RSVP'd, I threw my information out there and my boyfriend Ephraim's, and we got it. Stay tuned for the end of this video to see how exactly I was able to get into these events, because we do not gatekeep these fun experiences that I wouldn't have known about otherwise if there wasn't social media to tell me. Do I know too much? Do I know too little about other things? Maybe. Anyway, that's not the point. Anyway, Ephraim and I got the chance to go to a movie premiere. And not just any movie premiere. It is here in New York City, and it stars Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey and a number of other people, including this guy from Pride and Prejudice. So for real, with Jonathan Bailey and this guy from Pride and Prejudice and Queen Scarlett Johansson, how can you not feel like you're living in a romance novel? Also, there are so many romance novels out there that feature meeting celebrities. I gotta say, living in New York for 6 years on and off, I haven't run into that many. Except today at church, I thought I saw Joshua Bassett, but that's another story. For those who don't know, Joshua Bassett is Olivia Rodrigo's ex, and he was in the High School Musical TV show. I'm a diehard fan of that show. We begin Monday morning. MLB Monday, Major League Baseball. No, I didn't just find that out recently. What? In the beginning of baseball season, they released this promo. You got this pass where if you go to a Capital One cafe every Monday, you can get free handcrafted drinks. It's amazing. You could literally get free drinks for 4 months every Monday. So on this really hot Monday morning, that's exactly what Ephraim and I went to do. We needed some refreshing drinks to get us started on this super exciting 24-hour adventure. My go-to is the honey lavender latte. Then we headed back into our apartment, where we had absolutely no time to chill. We got ready. We waited for about an hour and a half in line with all the other people who had tickets. Honestly, I personally don't mind waiting in lines. I've waited in 2-hour, 3-hour lines at amusement parks like Disney and Universal. And to see anything cool and unique, I feel like you gotta wait in a line. It was nice because they provided drinks and bucket hats as soon as we got into the red carpet area, which was so much fun. Everybody there with us just had such good energy despite it being super hot outside. I also wish I knew more about actors and their work and like what goes into a film. I gotta say, I read more than I watch though, but I was doing research on the red carpet as each person was coming up. It's cool to see the cast and crew celebrating the work that they've done, and they brought their families, and it was really sweet and wholesome. It was also cool to see that certain celebrities had their hair and makeup team right there on the red carpet to fan them, while other actors just like melted along with us. I guess it depends person to person. I found that fascinating. Also, the red carpet looks, they slayed. This cast slayed.
I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade.
She had my favorite outfit. It gave pirate vibes. A few of them came up to the crowd and would sign the posters. Some were interacting more. Honestly, it was so nice. Such a wholesome cast. Such a wholesome first experience on a red carpet. I have to say this, I'm saying the word wholesome a lot just because it was. It didn't feel entitled or anything. Then it was time to enter the venue. They ushered us in we got some freebies. Yummy popcorn. And we were mixed up with the cast and crew, sitting next to the cast and crew's family. It was weird because you could just go up and mingle with anyone. And for me, I was like, isn't there some sort of barrier? Like, separate those who aren't related to them or friends or in the movie industry from this other group of people, us, from the fans, I should say. Like, I was picturing a concert situation where there's very much security everywhere, making sure that fans don't go up to the artists. But no, Scarlett Johansson was like 2 rows in front of me. And it was really sweet because Scarlett said that her favorite audience is the one in New York City. And I totally agree, because whenever I go into a movie theater in New York, people are reacting, they gasp at every scene like, oh, or people will go, oh dang, like he's about to die, and just interact with the movie. But in any other movie theater, at least in other states that I've been to, people are just silent. Like, we'll hold in laughter if the movie is funny. I'm like, laugh, react. I get this can annoy some people. Some people love it completely silent, and I respect that. But it was also fun knowing that the cast can hear people's reaction to the movie and to their acting. I feel like if I was an actor, I would so want that feedback. I wish I can see you reacting to this video. Please comment, because I love to know what you all think. Again, why does anyone create anything? For people to connect. And movies are just like that. And books are like that. And then when the end credits rolled, it honestly reminds me of the end of a book when I read the acknowledgements, which you never know who gets a shout out. It's really interesting.
David Kep, James Klein, and Jabez Olsen. Scarlett promises me New York is the best audience in the entire world.
Also, this director, he has an incredible story, which I'll have Ephraim explain this director's story.
Hi, Gareth Edwards. He has a cool story because he started like, I think around 10 years ago, where he did the first big stuff, which was Rogue One and Godzilla. It went really well. Rogue One didn't do as well. He was cut from the projects toward the ending, and another director stepped in, but it was always very like organized, and he like stepped aside, didn't like say anything. It was very like polite, and then stopped working for 10 years. Nothing until this little project came up, and they didn't have that much budget, but it was a big VFX project, which was the creator. And he went around with a Sony camera, like a small camera that you can literally buy anywhere, filming through Asia with the actors. And then he has like big skills as a VFX artist, because he used to be one before being a director, and built this whole movie that went really well. I think it was nominated for the Academy Awards and maybe won Best VFX that year with Hans Zimmer soundtrack. It was great. And then they gave him Jurassic World, which is still like a monster movie. He's good at doing those things, but he's a good director. Like, he has heart in the craft and what he does. And the crazy story is that he was like stuck out of Hollywood for 10 years, and then an opportunity came up and he took it, and he did great because he's a great artist, I think. Summarized story, but this is it. Yeah.
I'm glad I have you who knows the background. This is my movie nerd boyfriend, which How We Met is kind of like a movie.
Oh yeah, it's in my vlog.
I'll tell that later. Thank you, Ephraim. But after watching the film, I was just way too hype, so I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. How can you not, when the director and cast is right there, and knowing how much work goes into a film? I'm a little biased, and probably not the best film critic out there. Romance might be a different story. I watch a lot of those. By the way, leave a comment below of your favorite romance film, because I've been wanting to add things to my watch list. Or romance book.
The next day.
Tuesday, we woke up in this apartment, and it was 100 degrees outside and 99 degrees inside. I kid you not, was hot. Luckily, we had something to pull us out of the house and get us hopefully into some air conditioning. In the morning, we got some work done, but then in the afternoon, we headed out to the Hermès exhibit.
Ready?
No.
Anche uscire da fuori. Vai. Vai.
It's on fire.
Inside a place where it seems as though all of our horses have somehow escaped from their stables, and we have no idea where they could be.
I would describe this as like a large, super easy, probably level -1 escape room. Had like a fancy website app thing, which worked like a scavenger hunt. But the fact that this experience was free because there was actors interacting with you and they put so much effort into this pop-up exhibit, the design, the area. There was giant Hermès bags that were just gorgeous. They told you the backstory of Hermès, which I didn't know beforehand because I am not a designer connoisseur. Also, there was one room that was just filled with fresh fruit. Like nothing was fake. They had just so much going on, so many lights, so many buttons, so many hidden things. I think I've paid $70 for an escape room once for one person. Like it was $70 each for me and each of my friends. And there was like duct tape around something, I swear. Needless to say, this was nice. There was a ton of people there. The experience was about an hour, which went by pretty fast. And then at the end, they gave us these cute little Hermès notebooks. That is the only designer I own. It's actually a coloring book. And then afterwards, we headed up to Fifth Avenue. This was more for procrastinating going back to the apartment and enjoying some free AC than it was actually admiring designer things. But going into each of these super expensive stores felt like a museum. If you ever don't want to pay the museum fee, just go into a designer store on Fifth Ave and it's like the same thing. There will be plaques of the history. Pretty sure we saw one of the biggest diamonds or gemstones at the Tiffany store. Take pictures of the things for your dream board. Can be a fun little date. We hit up Louis Vuitton. Designer chocolate. Designer chocolate. Whenever I see chocolate art, I just cannot imagine eating something though that is designer chocolate and super expensive. I mean, I even struggle to eat the chocolate bunny. Wedding dresses. Oh, okay. Now for how you can meet celebrities like Jonathan Bailey, or at least see them live, and how you can find a bunch of free events in New York City. I use the website oneiota.com, and they have events in both New York and LA. There you could sign up to see live tapings of shows or screenings of movies like we did, where there may or may not be the cast there. It may or may not be a premiere. There's also a bunch of other events on there that randomly pop up. So I would check that daily if you have been wanting to see something lately. For the Hermès exhibit, I found that on the Instagram account and website called NYC for free. On the Instagram, they post stories and reels of events that are happening weekly all over New York City. But it's nice to go on the website because she'll list out all the events happening in the month, or things that are seasonal, or things that are free all year long. And for some events, you have to RSVP, like the Hermès exhibit, and pick a specific time. But others, you could just show up, like pop-ups around New York City where they give away free stuff. Museums and zoos all around the city have free days and pay what you wish days. Specifically in the summer, there are outdoor movies being projected all over the city, which is beautiful and such a cute date idea. You'll have to go online to see the calendar. But one of my favorite spots to watch movies is either Dumbo or Hoboken, because you get a view of the city behind. But Bryant Park is really nice too. In the neighborhood here in the Upper West Side is the Lincoln Center, where they have something called, I think, Summer Stages. It's actually called Summer for the City. Summer Stages is all over the city. They have one in Hudson Yards, one in Central Park. The one in Central Park is actually called Summer Stage, and the one in Hudson Yards is Summer Concerts. There's concerts on there. A lot of them are free. Again, you might just have to RSVP. Who knows? Your favorite artist could be performing in a concert in Hudson Yards for free. One of my favorite things to do all year long is to go on eventbrite.com and check out any free events happening in New York City. There are run clubs on there that are sponsored by big brands like Lululemon and Adidas. You could find races on there, and you just RSVP, and sometimes they give away free stuff. I've gotten free running snacks. Recently there was a B&H Build conference for free where there was a ton of content creators who were guest speakers. You might just hear your favorite content creator talk about how they do what they do. There's also a ton of public spaces around the city to just chill, relax, work at. I will probably be editing this video at a New York City public library, which there is one also at the Lincoln Center, which is the Performing Arts Library, and also feels like a museum. Anyway, any of these things can also serve as cute date ideas for you and your lover, or friend hangouts, or your friends and you want to be more than friends. A lot of these places can be romantic, especially if you have to stand in line. That's so much time to talk and get to know each other. Hey, for those of you that are single and got someone in mind that you're thinking about, I'm rooting for you. Be bold. Take them on a free date. That doesn't break the bank for either of y'all. Living a luxurious life in the city doesn't have to be expensive. It can, in fact, be free. Honorable mention, you can also volunteer at a ton of places around the city for free. But hey, if you are single, why not go serve at a soup kitchen? Meet someone who has a selfless heart. That is a green flag right there. There are urban gardens around the city, soup kitchens. You can volunteer with kittens. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there and go do something fun today with you and your loved ones, or by yourself. Love on yourself. And I will see you in the next video.